From Keith Miller, concerning time, it is something else that I end up thinking that it's my time. There has to be a you for time to be created. Time is because you are. But you are can just be the knowing that you are without having to form an object in time, which then creates time. When you're the selfless self, without any ideas, concepts, or belief, there's no sense of time, and it's not even being outside of time. There's no sense of anything. You could say the only way the seer sees the scenes passing, and somehow that could be a concept of time, but not even, because there's no you in it. You know, there has to be a point, even on a clock, the hands have to move in a certain way. There's just not that. Mantra throughing every experience, mantra through mantra, 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 you'll begin to see that you're totally outside of time. Like in dream, is there time in dream? And even the time that's in dream is only dream time. You know, like if somebody says, oh, be here at 9 o'clock in your dream, well, you're going to show up at 9 o'clock in that dream. So that's a sense of time, and yet you're sleeping, and it's probably 1 or 2 in the morning. So where is the time? Time is just the perception of who's perceiving the time, the object in time perceiving and then labeling time.
Yeah, the time is a construction of the movie. I mean, it's part of the play. Otherwise, the play wouldn't work if there wasn't time.
Right. It's a mind-created thing to kind of try to make sense of it. And again, because there's not the courage to face the fact that, wow, you know, it's much easier for me to create a John that has some kind of linear life that I'm working towards something. Because to not work towards anything, how's the mind? That's what the mind does, you know? The mind works towards like problem solving and things like that. It got a little carried away with the problem solving that hasn't yet happened. But that's basically, you know, that's why Maharaj always says, use the mind, use it sparingly to figure out something, you know, mathematical problem, or, you know, if I'm buying 2 bottles of bleach and there's a sale 3 for $5, which is better? That's good for mind. But using mind to try to, you know, predict future, which is what it really wants to do. It wants to create this sense of continuity and what's going to happen and how this is going to be and how this person's going to act and how that's going to act and this. And then it's just lost.
Yeah, I noticed that the mind, for a long time, it was personal suffering, and this is why, you know, we start to seek to escape our personal suffering, and then we do the mantra and other practice, and that suffering, severe suffering, starts to diminish. But then I also noticed the mind starting to be more productive in a way, trying to be more productive, and find salvation in productivity and solving things. And I'm noticing that's just the same mechanism, basically seeking salvation in the future versus just being here now. It's the mind trying to solve something for a future, you know, happiness, I guess.
And remember, Maharaj always says, mind, ego, intellect, they appear upon your presence. And I love the way he talks about the factory. You're the owner of the factory, but you've been taking commands from these guys who you're paying, who are on your payroll, and you're providing them with their livelihood. So you're the owner of this factory. They can be there. Mind, ego, intellect, they're instruments to be used, but not instruments to try and use you. And because you don't know yourself, you're this formlessness. Without form, the mind, ego, intellect can try to dictate to you. And it's like you were saying, in the past, it was like my mind. Like Maharaj says, don't go against my mind, because, wow, if that happens, then the fear is that, well, my mind will just go crazy then. I'll just be thinking all these thoughts. I'll never be able to concentrate on anything. Quote, stress. But the reality is, and when you see it through mantra, what is mind? What is it going to do? Mind appeared upon your spontaneous presence. Mind, ego, intellect are instruments. And they all came along with the body and will dissolve along with the body. This you that you are, when it's not identified with mind, what does it think about? Why does it even need a mind? Mind is needed to continue in the kind of body form. You know, this body has requirements and needs and such, and the mind is kind of your valet to the world.
Yeah. Yep.